Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we are back on board with Scrum and we're doing something a little bit different. So in today's video, we are going to be watching them play some Domination. I know that my channel mainly revolves around Hardpoint just because in my eyes, it's the one game mode that is the most strategic, right? Every single time, like every 60 seconds, there's a new flank, a new setup, a new route that you want to be taking to flip, and with Dom there's really just one strategy. So in a way it gets a little bit boring over time because it's basically just a big tug of war game to get that one strategy. Now I know that might be oversimplifying it a little bit. You can certainly win by doing other things, but every team is trying to do the same thing every time, and it just, I don't know, it gets a little mundane at times. But without further ado, let's go ahead, and I'm going to try not to stop this too often because each of these sides is 5 minutes. So this is a 10-minute video without explaining anything at all. So without further ado, I do want to go ahead and just start off and just give you the main breakdown of this map. So right above my head, there is the mini map there. So there's a good side and a bad side. Chicago spawned on the good side of this map, and they are playing Minnesota. So Minnesota spawns on the bad side of this map. So they're spawning over here. So if you're Minnesota, obviously you have to track back. You have to capture C with one person. But the main thing, the best strategy on this map is whoever gets this right side spawn, you send somebody into ADOM, you get in, you capture A, and then you get in and you also capture B. You want to hold, for this map, you want to hold, obviously you want to hold down AB, and once you get that, there's like a progression from this, right? So exactly what you're seeing SCUMP do on screen, this is that next progression. So you get inside B, you get control of top L and bottom L, and basically you're just setting up a spawn trap, right? You're not letting Minnesota out of their spawn. But SCUMP just went ahead and pushed forward to get either a neutral, and I know he's capping it right now. That might be a little bit too far because now their spawns have flipped. So if you have AB, you push towards the top side of the map, and if you send somebody towards C and you neutral, once you get to the top, then you can just jump out. You can hide around this corner, hide around blue van, hide over here. You can go up top stairs and hide. So I really like when teams will push forward over towards C, and then you overextend, you get that neutralization, and then you just kind of chill out. Because right now, if you're Chicago, you have C and B, which really, it's not the preferred side. So most teams, rather than try to capture C, they'll just get in, they'll just neutralize it, and then hop out and try not to flip the spawns because it's the much harder side to hold. So right now, Chicago has C and B, and they are working backwards, but it looks like they just got team wiped. So I would expect, as you can see B in the top middle of your screen, they're losing B, and now it's really hard to get back inside because there's only a couple choke points you can really get inside with. So if you're Chicago, now you have this spawn and you have C. So if you want to get back into B, which is the flight that you don't control, you have to go through bottom L. You have to push through top L. Those are really like your two options to get back inside B. Or, of course, you can go mid and you can do this top AC hop, right? You can hop up through this window, which you just saw. I don't know who we were team watching right there, but that's exactly what they were trying to do. And then you can come down on B. But the problem is that if you're Minnesota, you now have spawns on this right side of the map, right? So, first of all, it's a much shorter distance to get into B. And once you're inside of B from this right side of the map, it's just a little bit easier to get inside, right? Because you have cover of the hut in front of you. You also can't really see because of that blue van that's right on top of B-Dom. So it's easier to get in. And the second thing is that your ARs can just be posted up on this wall right here. So anybody that tries to cut through the middle of the map right here is really easy to see. So that's why it can be difficult at times. Now, again, there's about 36 seconds left in the round, and Chicago is able to flip. So now if we're watching just those three legends right in the top middle of the map, you can see that Chicago now has A and B, and Minnesota has C. And if we're looking at the score, the thing that Chicago did really well right here is that they were able to hold A and B. They were able to get that triple cap for a few seconds. So with the triple cap, every 5 seconds, your team is earning 3 points. And even if you get a triple cap for 20 seconds, that's a lot of points, right? That's 4 ticks times 3 points, so that would be 12 points just in a matter of 20 seconds. So at the end of the first round, it's 103-64, and the thing that they did great is that on the first side, they were able to hold A and B, then they overextended, and they were able to lock down C, a triple cap for just a moment. But the thing that they did great after that is that when they got C, they were also able to hold CB, right? Minnesota didn't have that AB side for long. Now, as we're coming up here on the second side, I want to pay attention to how Chicago breaks off of this, because there's really 2 things you can do. You can flood B and you can just sell out trying to get the cap on B so you have CB, and it looks like that's what they're doing right now. If we pause this and look at the minimap, so Pristini just died, but if I'm looking up here in the minimap, you can see that there are 3 arrows up here. SCUMP is inside, Pristini just died, and 1 person is back capping C. So essentially what they did here, if we look at the minimap, they spawn right here. They sent Formal back to cap C. They sent everybody else, bottom L and top L, and they're selling out to try to capture B. So we'll see if it's successful. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can push through mid. You can try to set up a pinch right here to anybody that rushed in through Minnesota. You can try to pinch from behind. Normally, that's hard to do because if you're Minnesota, you have an AR that's capturing ADOM right here. So as soon as they cap it, they're going to push mid. They're going to be able to get kills here. Or you could also take a long flank and try to hit the top side of the map, similarly to how you would push out P2. So I know there's a lot going on the screen right now, but hopefully you were able to follow. So it does look like right now they are completely selling out for the push into B, probably most likely because they have a pretty big lead, right? So let's get back in and let's see if this initial push is successful. And it looks like Silly got a kill, Alex got a kill, and there's only 1 or 2 more people there. Envoy, Arcides also got kills. So they're not successful right at the beginning, but they do have a 40-point lead. So that's more than 3 minutes worth of a 2-cap. So if you're Chicago, you don't really have to freak out until the time gets down to like 1 minute and 30 seconds, right? You're not going to lose this lead until there's 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Now, if you're Minnesota, you want to start thinking about having somebody overextend because, again, you're down by about 30 points now, so a minute has come off the clock. But if you're down by about 30 minutes, we just talked about 30 points. We just talked about how if you can just get a triple cap for 30 seconds, that's a really big difference in terms of the overall score. But just like that, Formal gets a kill, SCUMP gets a kill, Envoy gets a kill. They take over B, and this is why it's not really important to flip if you have a 40-point lead at the start of bad side, because if you can just get in and just capture B just for 30 seconds or so, normally that's enough to go ahead and win. So we don't really watch Dom all that often just because everything is so fluent and it really is just one basic strategy overall. But let's go ahead, let's turn up the audio, let's listen into Chicago's team comms and hear what they're talking about. We'll listen for a couple minutes or so. If there's anything super important that's going on, we'll go ahead, we'll pause it, we'll break it all down. But without further ado, let's go ahead, let's listen into Chicago's strategy here.
Green half more, green half more.
Let's go,
Let's go. I hit him on the wall. I hit him there.
Top out. Oh.
Frame him top out.
Top out,
Flashing
Justin.
it, flashing it.
Middle dead.
Flash up there, you're good.
I'm going low.
He just framed it. Dude.
Dead.
Good job.
No middle. White barrel.
Top L dead.
Good job, two.
Enemy top L.
That's three guys.
I'm getting in.
What? Top green assault.
Top green dead.
Top L's open first.
One more mid. Good job. Mid. Four.
Absolute stacks.
Oh, fuck, good job.
Mid crates, ace and one ball.
20 yellow.
Go top AC.
Try and get top L, guys. Good job.
He stuck me on B.
My
There's nothing in the door.
I have AC dead.
I'm trying to cap.
Yeah, just cap that.
Yo, top L now, guys. Top L now. Alex is top L.
Another one in shack.
Just one ball now.
2 and B right now. Only one on it.
On B dead.
Nice, big one. Push.
I can kill him.
That
I have your AC hop.
Good mid L.
Long. He's mid crates.
Oh, he just jumped back up.
Scav. Scav, good job.
Let's go.
I flashed him earlier.
Top car dead.
That's him, good job. I'm turning around green. They spawned out. Nothing green.
They're gonna be bottom L already. They're gonna be top.
So just to kind of break down what happened right there, they were able to clutch up and get the kills inside of B-Dom. Now, it's a little bit worrisome, right? Because that's really hard to do with how short of a distance Minnesota had to get back into B-Dom. So they were able to get in, they were able to cap B-Dom. As soon as they did that, they were also able to get a team wipe. So they captured B-Dom, they got a team wipe, which pushed them forward to A-Dom. So now they have that beneficial A-B side. So again, now they just got flipped. So it's the exact same. See, this is why Domination is so crazy, because exactly what they just did just happened to them. So Minnesota was able to capture C, they're able to push into B, get a team wipe, and now they have AB. So this game mode is so fluent. But if you're Chicago, you have a 22-point lead right now with 1 minute and 5 seconds left. So as long as you protect a 1 cap, so if Minnesota gets a 2 cap, the most that they can make up is 12 points. So if you're Minnesota, you have to push for a triple cap, which if you're Chicago, that's really beneficial, because if Minnesota has AB, they have to send people to C because they have to get a triple cap or a neutral and able to come back. So if you're Chicago, you can just push forward. Then if Minnesota's sending a ton of resources towards C to get that triple cap, you can just push in towards B, because if everybody floods into B, you're going to end up having numbers. If you end up getting kills inside B, then you can then push forward and you can also cap A. So it's like you're directly countering. If Minnesota's sending people to C, you send people into B, capture B, and then push forward and get A. So it looks like to hold this out here, they are going to end up holding B. They're also going to cap A, and that's exactly what we were saying, right? Minnesota just captured C. While they captured C, if you're Chicago, you push forward and you get A. You keep that 2 cap, and now you have this beneficial setup here. I know that the round is coming to a close here, so Chicago does end up getting a 176 to 146 victory here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to stick around for the scoreboard here, but really just a nice job overall of just being fluent, right? They were able to push forward. They were able to, if Minnesota pushed out C, they were able to get B and then move forward onto A, and that really was the key to success there down towards the end. So if we look at the scoreboard here, Formal ended up with 31 and 21. Nice map out of him. And that's the thing with Domination, is that a lot of it comes down to, do you have the ARs to compete? You can see on the scoreboard right here, Arcities and Formal led the way. If you're SMGs, it's a little bit more difficult. You're normally that person that's trying to overextend, do the dirty work, get those neutral on the enemy team's home flag, stuff like that. So by leading the way, RCD's informal with those ARs, SMGs underneath them, they still did well. SCUMP was +9, Envoy +1, along with Pristini +1. We look underneath, Silly was -9, Exceed was -10, and Asim was -10. So that's just not quite going to get it done. Assault had a pretty decent map, but just didn't put up the slaying numbers that you saw out of Arcities and Formal. So with that, guys, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I super appreciate it. Leave a like on the video. Any comments whatsoever, leave them down below. And with that, thank you guys so much. We will see you in tomorrow's upload.